welcome to this week's edition of the John Peacock Coaches Show. I'm John Massoni here with Venice Indian head football coach John Peacock. And Coach, big week of changes and weather and whatnot culminated in what one of the local papers in Jacksonville called a game for the ages. And it was Venice coming out ahead of Jacksonville Trinity Christian with a 50-49 victory.
Great, definitely a great win for us. Kids fought hard, had to play a full, complete game. I think we gained a lot from that game. Not only, we learn how to finish a game and to win a close game. We also, I think we gained an awful lot of endurance in that game, and I think that's going to pay dividends in the future. And I think we should definitely be in game shape by now, because it was a heavyweight fight. We're taking blows and they were giving blows. I mean, it was a game where we had very high ups and very low lows. So we need to learn how to stay on our highs and get out of our lows. And we didn't do a great job of that Friday night, but we did do a good job of answering the bell when it needed to be answered, and stepping up when it was time to step up.
This final score is 50-49, 2 overtimes, which in high school is a little bit different, more like the college overtime except we go from the 10-yard line.
Right.
Again, quick change. Now all of a sudden you have to plan for goal line and certain plays, so from a coaching perspective, did you have something where you had some place to go to, or are you just kind of taking it as it came to you?
Well, the first overtime we scored on the first play, and then the second overtime it took us 5 plays. We actually got a pass interference that gave us half the distance to the goal, and then we scored on 4th down. So we didn't have anything written down as far as what we wanted to do at that situation. We knew we're in a groove where I think we ran around 100 football plays offensively. So we kind of knew where we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. It was just a point where I think we got to a situation there in the second overtime where we had to throw the ball to Malachi, where you want to kind of be safe in those situations and run the ball so you don't we already had a sack fumble,
right.
And we're also going against a corner that's committed to the University of Clemson, or Clemson University, whatever it's called. So you're taking a chance against a elite corner in the country. Although with Malachi, we feel like we have the best receiver in the country as well. So we're willing to take those chances. It's just you don't always want to press the envelope and that guy end up making a play or the ball being underthrown, or because we did throw to him on 2nd down, and it wasn't a great ball, and it actually
hit him in the back.
Hit the corner in the back, where it was a fade stop, and we want that ball down by the pylon where Malachi could have came back and caught it. So you're not real sure of what you want to do and how you want to do it, but you definitely wanted to try to keep the ball on the ground, and we weren't able to do that, but made a beautiful throw on 4th down, and Malachi did a great job, caught it, just like it was playing, like you're playing catch. So
so you talked about how there was ups and downs just in that little series.
Yeah.
Worst throw to the best throw. It was a terrible first throw, and then you're like, okay, we got to go back to it again, and then there it was. It was just like as easy as could be.
So that was but like I said, we're going against an elite team in the state, and when you're talking about elite team in the state of Florida, it's an elite team in the country. So it's not always going to look pretty. You're going to have pressure from the defensive line. So I mean, we're getting to the point where we're playing these teams that are kind of at a different level, and you see a big separation. I was talking to somebody about this Saturday. There is such a big separation in, an elite team and then a good high school football team.
Right.
So we're trying to become elite, and we're playing guys that are elite, and we've won some elite games. We've beat some elite opponents in the past, and we were able to beat one Friday night.
Yeah, and you can see it because again, we'll talk more about the ebbs and flows of that game, but you think that you got them down and out. You're 21-7. You're feeling good about things.
Going great.
Everything's going great, and then next thing you know, it's 35-28 on 2 enormous plays, back to back on the 2 possessions in the 4th quarter, and you have to come and say, okay, where are we? Are now we going to be elite?
Right.
And it wasn't a big play, but it was a fantastic, well executed drive to tie the game up at 35.
Right.
And then then it's a matter of going back on defense and you just had 2 big plays go against you, and then performing. And obviously you got the win 50-49. So everybody stepped up and got to that level when they needed to.
That's what I was saying. We did a great job of answering the bell. I mean, we had some adversity in the game. We lost our starting quarterback, and Ryan came in and answered the bell. I mean, when we were down and they seemed like they were getting the momentum, he's able to come out and put together a drive and throw some nice balls. And so there were some ups and downs, but we were always able to answer the bell.
Yeah, so that was Nico Del Costa got knocked out of the game in the second quarter, and he was having some success both running and throwing at that point, giving them a little bit of trouble. And Ryan Overstreet came in and did a really nice job. I mean, got his feet on the ground. Maybe the first throw or two wasn't great, and then he seemed to settle in once it came out at halftime. He settled into, hey, no looking over your shoulder. You're it at that point,
right?
And you got to go do it. And it seemed like he was able to kind of fit his game into what we needed. And you obviously play calling helped him out with that as well. So
yeah, we didn't change up the offense. I mean, the offense is the offense. We don't have a watered down version for Ryan. He's a smart kid, and he was, the playbook is the playbook. And like I said, what a great job to be thrown into that situation like this right away, and you're coming off the bench cold, and fantastic job answering the bell and leading us to the victory.
And even from Ryan's perspective, but you also had DJ Escort come in and do his job in the fourth quarter. Saw some defensive linemen get mixed in there. So there was a lot of different things going on in that game. Players were coming in situations. A lot of guys that are second stringers were coming in because it was necessary. It was a humid night.
Oh, it was ugly.
It was as warm as you can get at night. I don't know if it would get any warmer than it was. And then I remember looking at the clock, and it was 11 o'clock at night when the game was over. So you're talking about almost a 4-hour football game, high school football game. That's unheard of.
And we've been on the bus since 11:30 a.m. So
yeah.
Like I said, I'm very proud of the kids, and we answered the bell, and we were able to get a great win. Win for us, no matter what the score was. But what a great way to win the game.
No doubt. Well, Coach, what we'll do is we'll take a break here right now, and then we'll look at some of those highlights, because there were quite a few highlights in the game. I think people are probably interested to see what it was all about. They've heard a lot about it, read newspapers and whatnot, so they probably want to see what a little bit is. Again, we're here at Off the Wagon, the home of the John Peacock Coaches Show. We'd like to thank Tommy and his staff once again for having us here. And
great food tonight.
Really good food tonight. I'm sort of have a tendency to go for those pork belly tacos. I do like those quite a bit. So, and also want to let you know that the efforts that they put into raising.
When I pulled up, they filled up an entire U-Haul truck full of goods to go to the Bahamas
for Hurricane Dorian relief, and so that was taken care of. So yeah, that was a fantastic. They had a successful donation drive, and hopefully that'll get to the right folks and they make their lives a little easier.
I don't think they could have fit much more in that truck.
No, I think it's amazing how everybody does step up. And I guess when you're from Florida, you're kind of used to the idea that
They're probably giving back all the stuff they went into the
it's going to the right places, no doubt. Okay, after this break, we'll have the highlight package for the game against Trinity Christian. See you back here in a few minutes.
We also like to thank the following sponsors for making this show a possibility: Absolute Aluminum,
Neo Communities, because where you live matters,
Sarasota Orthopedics Associates,
and E.T. McKenzie. And a special thanks to Off the Wagon for hosting the John Peacock Coaches Show. And we're back here at Off the Wagon for part 2 of the John Peacock Coaches Show tonight. And Coach, let's get into the highlights. We got a lot of highlights, 11 minutes worth of highlights. So we'll get into them right away so we can share what happened on this Friday night.
Yeah, we start off the kicker. We got to talk about him. Did a great job all night.
Fantastic.
Made all of his extra points. Pretty much, I want to say everyone but one.
4 out of 6. He was 4 out of 6. And one was at the 1 yard line, so he was right there the whole night.
That's the worst place to be, by the way. Is the one. But did a great job. Extra points, and what a game that it mattered.
Yes.
Defensively was like basically a tale of two halves. Trinity came out and they actually put together a real good drive the first series and scored, and then we shut them out the rest of the half, and played really well. And we came out and we answered the first drive. Nico had some nice runs early on. Offensive line did a good job of getting to where they had to be and doing their job really.
And yeah, you definitely, and you can see if you're looking at Trinity Christian, there's some athletes on both sides of the ball. If you take a look at the highlight package,
this was a 4th down to Brian. That was a big play in a drive. Converting a 4th. I think it was 4th and 10. We were 4th and 5 when we jumped off sides.
It was, yes.
And then we converted the 4th and 10. And then you'll see right here, Nico throws a nice pass here to Wes Wolf, and again against a Clemson commit. So just kind of shows you Wes can make plays as well. And they had some great coverage all night. But that number 2, he was a great football player, a Clemson commit, and He had tight coverage all night.
I noticed during the game and the first couple of games that Wes is blocking downfield. He's becoming more and more ferocious as well too. He's taking pride in blocking in the running game.
He's getting better at it. Malachi is really, he gives a ton of effort blocking, and I think the rest of the receiver corps has noticed that and kind of has stepped their game up a little bit. And that was one of the ones that didn't get in the end zone, and we had great coverage.
Great coverage.
Yeah.
And I know that kid is a heck of a returner too. So
here's a situation where they got down to the goal line, and we were able to make a stop here, hold them scoreless here.
Yeah.
They tried to go for it on fourth down, and we stopped them. I want to say this might be the fourth down play right here.
Yeah, they went. I think this is when they went Wildcat here, and I don't think they made it. And that was the play because he was running around, got stopped.
Yeah, I think Chuck comes up and makes a good play on him, and we're able to get the ball back there, and that was huge. That was a huge play for us, and we were able to go down and score. Or we actually didn't score that drive, but we were able to get the ball and just flip the field back on them.
Yeah, because I think on that play there was the punt on the play was a 54-yard punt, so it really did flip the field.
We did a good job punting Friday night.
Yeah, but over 40 yards per punt. Yeah,
had great protection and great execution on the snap and everything. The quarterback was a really good quarterback and had a really good night.
Very poised.
Yes.
Like he ran if he had to, but he stepped up in the pocket looking for a little receiver. So he was a very, very polished young man for sure.
See right here is a big catch by Malachi over that receiver, and they were again using the safety to help. Even with a guy that's a Clemson commit, they still had to use the safety.
Yeah,
to
they
help
were cheating
him.
number 15 to that side a little bit.
And you see, this is Jay-Sean Platt makes a great play down here, puts us in the 5-yard line.
That was a heck of a catch. That looked like he dragged the foot and that ball was going out of bounds. That's a heck of a play.
We have some really, really, really talented receivers, and Jay-Sean's just a sophomore. Miles was out this game, which was it's a huge blow to us. And you see right here, Nico's able to just kind of basically walk in for the second score of the night.
It gave him a little trouble having to go with a quarterback and a running back.
It was nice to see we got a quarterback going a little bit in the run game.
Yeah.
You see here, we had great coverage, and you see
Rowan
Foss can come and make a play. Rowan's been doing a great job. I think he knocked down a ball on fourth down as well.
And he's getting more comfortable at that linebacker position. Each week he seems to be getting better and better at it.
You see Zach Younce in the mix too, and Chris George did a nice job coming up and making some tackles Friday night.
Chris comes with some energy, let's say, when he makes tackles in some of those plays for sure.
Zach Younce again.
I thought that was a lateral.
I was thinking the same thing. It was very close, very close.
But they were quick to make the call. There was no if they're going to make the call, make it quick. So there's not a lot of second guessing on it. And the D line held up. I mean, there was no one guy stood up, but they did a nice job holding where they needed to do. And then a lot of tackle. There's Zach Younce.
Zach had a really good game setting the edge. They had some speed now. They had some guys that could really get after it.
They really did.
We did a good job setting the edge and stopping that stuff.
And again, here we're coming up and making him make a throw, and there's an interception.
Zach tipped it, and Chuck was able to come up with the interception. That was a huge play, giving us the ball in the plus territory right away.
And again, he was pressured out of the pocket, and he had it. It wasn't a bad throw, but he had to make the throw, and it was not a good one.
You see again here Malachi with the catch. Again, he's double covered, and they were really, really all over him Friday night. It was like prison rules as far as guarding the receiver.
It was rough.
And you see right here, Brian had a great night running the ball. Our lineman had a great night, and I felt like in the second half we kind of imposed our will on them up front, and we're able to kind of run the ball when we needed to anytime. You see Ryan here has a nice keep, and we're able to get the touchdown right there.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to be stopped at 2-yard line, and he kept on going. And talking about Brian again, Brian had 31 carries in the game in a very humid night very rough
Yep.
rough game. He put it out there with a lot of carries and a lot of positive yardage.
There's this Savion Casaway, makes a nice play in the backfield. Again, like I told you, the defense was kind of the tale of two halves. The first half, we played really, really well, and then the second half, not so good. You see right here again, Zach Younce on the play. And Zach made a lot of plays Friday night.
And so every time it seemed like that quarterback would step up and want to run, Zach could be the guy who was right there to
Sure
stop
tackler
it.
did a great job. We did a great job on the screen. You see here on the screen, we read it right away and were able to stop the screen.
Yeah, we were in position. There was like even the plays that they got, they had a one long touchdown pass. We were there. Coverage was there.
See Brian on a nice carry again. Like I said, the offensive line did a really, really good job up front. And right here, I think this is the beginning of the second half. And Chuck had a nice return here. Got us out close to midfield. Chuck did a nice job all night returning
Yeah,
kicks.
he's very patient. He sets up his blocks and then he puts it in speed when he needs to.
This is the drive that's kind of disappointing when we're up 21-7, and we have a chance really to make it to where it's kind of unreachable. And you see Malachi like I said, he does some things it doesn't look like a 6'5" guy should be doing.
Right.
So what's nice about him is he's a deep threat guy, and he's someone you can just flip the ball
Short
to,
yardage.
and he can make something happen. But they're able to get the ball back, and you see right here, fourth down, we're able to come up with a stop.
And that's Rowan on the
Right,
pass breakup.
Rowan breaking up that pass, and then we get the ball back, and we don't score, and then they score, and then we're kind of in a battle here. Now the game's within one touchdown, and I think at one point they went up, and we had to come back and tie it.
That was there was a 35-28. Right now we're still up by 2 touchdowns at this point.
I mean, we went into the game and we're up 21-7, about to make it 28-7. You see Malachi, watch him hit this thing. I mean, it's this different gear, something special there.
And there's West blocking down
Yeah,
field
West
again for him. That's
did
what I mean. So
after that first quick we threw to Malachi, he did a great job blocking the rest of the night. You see he's right there, what I'm talking about with Malachi out blocking in front. And Brian again, Brian did a nice job carrying the ball all night, except for the one mishap he had.
yeah, but then again, DJ
Yeah,
came in
and
and
you
did a
see
really nice job.
DJ in there. We had a nice play action pass to French, and we missed the wide open French earlier, where he could have made some things happen as well. And you see DJ here carrying the ball. DJ has a little bit of a gear to him. He runs hard. He's going to be something someone that's a huge part of our offense, and he's a bright spot in our future.
There's no, you're not missing anything. When DJ gets in the game, he's doing it. He's there for sure. And that makes it right there. So we're at that point, we're at 35, or I think it's that what it was. So it's now it's a game.
This is the overtime right here.
Yes.
This is the overtime, first overtime. We score in the first play, and they come right back and they score in the first play. And then coming up right here, I just, all of his extra points, I just want to put this on here.
Right.
Very, very important, and talk about being stressed out, making sure we made this extra point.
You have to make the game's over otherwise.
Yeah, if you miss this, it's kind of over. And at the same time, we had to get Mort out of there because he was down injured.
Yes.
So we had to put a fresh face in there. So this is fourth down in the second overtime now. Trinity had already scored. They're up 7, and this is fourth down. You see we had a nice throw. Malachi does a great job here. Touchdown. Now we're down by 1, and we elected to go for 2, and we were going to hand the ball to Brian.
Well blocked play. I mean, just very
we
well
switched.
blocked
We're
play.
gonna run weak here. We liked because we felt like that safety up top was going to go help Malachi. What you see he does, he kind of was sitting there kind of helping, but we got some penetration front side, and Brian made a good decision to hit it backside, and it was clear that he was in the end zone.
And it's not too often you have a walk-off win. So there's probably been a few times because normally you can't do that and then you can't rush the field, but the game was over at that point. So everybody had an opportunity to celebrate.
Great feeling, for sure.
Really great feeling, especially for tough as the game as it was, no doubt. So that was the highlights for a 50-49 victory. Again, long travel, long game, long ride home. I know you want to play this week, but maybe, just maybe, it might not be the worst thing in the world that we have a week off.
I'll tell
this
you,
week.
I was not ready Monday for practice and to address everything. So, we were able to be off Monday, and we're going to be off tomorrow, Friday, and we're going to be able to go watch some other games, some other opponents we have. The practices have been real short this week. I think the latest we went was 4:15, and that was today. So, it's always good to get these kids rest, and even if you need work, which we still need work,
right?
It's more important to get these kids rest and get them healthy, and because the only time you're fresh, in football season is before football season starts.
Right, and so we go back to the first show we did this year. We never expected to be playing Jacksonville Trinity Christian
No.
at this point, and you always expect a great game from any team you would play at that level, but to have that game come around, was an unexpected sort of great situation that ended up coming out of nowhere. And I think we had mentioned earlier that the experience of this kind of a game, playing with these elite level teams and coming out victorious early in the year, that's going to mean a lot going down
there's
the road.
a lot of stuff we can learn. Obviously you can go look at the film with the kids and say, all right, we're up 21-7 right here. We're basically, they can't stop us. We're driving down the field, and we put the ball on the ground. We miss a wide open pass. Those are things that we can't do. We got to make sure we capitalize. We got to be able to put teams away, because we could have put them away, and we never should have been in that situation. But it's also great that we were in that situation and we found a way to win.
No doubt. All right, we'll take a break here, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about Friday night's game, and maybe what we're doing this week, and kind of preparing for the next week after that. And we got some good opponents coming up here shortly, so it's got to be a lot of recovery and preparation for sure. We'll be back here in a few minutes.
We also like to thank the following sponsors for making this show a possibility: Absolute Aluminum,
Neo Communities, because where you live matters,
Sarasota Orthopedics Associates,
and E.T. McKenzie. And a special thanks to Off the Wagon for hosting the John Peacock Coaches Show. And we're back here at Off the Wagon for part 3 of the John Peacock Coaches Show. And Coach, as we went to break in the last part of the show, we talked about this week's preparation coming off of a game and having a bye week. What exactly are you guys going to do this week without a game on Friday night?
Well, we're going to make sure that we get healthy for one, and then, right now we're going to be preparing for Sarasota this week. We were able to luckily get some film from common opponents, and we're going to prepare for our Sarasota game. They're a district opponent. They have been absolutely devastating everyone they played, and they got a tough schedule.
They're putting some points up for sure.
They played Northport. They played Lemon Bay. I forget who the other team was. And Bayshore. Yeah. So they've played some tough opponents, and we are definitely going to prepare for them and be ready for everything they have.
Yeah, because now you're getting into the heart of the schedule where every game counts. We know that. We all win every one of them, but the district gets you where you need to be, and it gets you to that, and it gets you to that playoff situation, and everybody wants a chance to be in the playoffs, and so you've got to get prepared for that, because I know it's going to be at Sarasota, which is always a tough place to play.
Right.
You got to go there, and then you've got Lakewood Ranch and you've got Manatee that are also going to be tough.
Right. Looking at it, it looks like going into that Sarasota game, there's a good chance that Sarasota's 5-0, and there's a good chance that we're 4-1. Who knows?
Right.
Or whatever our record may be, it's still, looks like they're going to be the front runner for the district championships. So we got to make sure that we are ready to play, and that we fix some things that we need to fix from ourselves. We're going to spend some time on that this week, because there's mistakes that we keep making over and over again, and we got to fix and make sure that everything that we're doing is correct, and we got to just really shore up some things and kind of pay attention to detail, and we got to fix some things, and we got to be. We haven't really put it all together yet.
And I think you're right, because I've seen some situations in each game where a penalty here or there has stalled the drive out. Little things that it doesn't look like much on paper, because you say, it's just, it's one holding penalty or an off, or you jump on a play. But that's a 3rd and 2 into a 3rd and 7 or a 3rd and 12, and that you're punting, and that's a big deal in some of these games.
I think looking at the games, we're definitely improving each week. We didn't have any snap issues this past week. We looked more efficient on offense this past week. even coming in, with our backup quarterback coming in and taking over, and I say, backup only because, Nico was getting the majority of the reps. I think it'll be different in the weeks to come. I'm not sure when Nico will be ready to play. Already have counted him that he won't be able to play against Riverview. So, that gives Ryan all the reps for these next 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
So, him playing, him doing that and him getting those reps. I mean, he won't be considered a backup anymore. I mean, he's a veteran player. He's started varsity football games, so we'll expect him to perform at that level as well.
It's nice to have a senior backup too.
Yes.
That's one of those things you don't have usually have the kind of luxury of having in the past.
So we're going to make sure that we don't take any steps backwards in that area, and that we're actually just cleaning some stuff up, and we got to be, like I said, more efficient on all aspects of the game, the special teams, the offense and the defense. And we spent some time on Monday, just on our field goal block, because we really found out how important that was.
No doubt.
Friday night, when we really wanted to get a block and the game was kind of on the line, and we weren't really ready for that. So we're going to make sure that we're ready for that in the future. And we got two guys in Malachi and Wes Wolf that are, they're 6'5" skill kids that can jump. And we got to be able to make sure that we're using those guys to every advantage we got.
Exactly.
And we got to, and Chuck coming off the edge, he's a little unsure of himself, and so we're going to bring some big cheerleader pads out there, and we're going to teach him, how he can dive and really sell out for those balls, and hopefully get one of them. Okay. So you have, we'll have two big bodies coming in somewhere, and we'll have one fast body coming off the edge, and hopefully we'll have another body getting ready to pick it up and run for a touchdown.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, with that, we'll take our last break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about our YouTube, little post show we're doing, and a few other things regarding the media things that we're doing around with Venice High School football. So when we come back, we'll wrap it up on the John Peacock Coaches Show. See you back here in a few minutes.
We also like to thank the following sponsors for making this show a possibility: Absolute Aluminum,
Neo Communities, because where you live matters,
Sarasota Orthopedics Associates,
and E.T. McKenzie. And a special thanks to Off the Wagon for hosting the John Peacock Coaches Show. And we're back here for the final segment of the John Peacock Coaches Show. And Coach, talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing here on Tuesday nights after our taping of our show, where we're going to be doing a live sort of YouTube question and answer, behind the scenes talk.
Yeah, we're going to spend a little bit more time.
Football,
spend a little bit more time on our next opponent. Maybe answer some questions that any fans have. We can do a text a number. We can put a number up there where they can text a question, and we'll put some more information out on Twitter and on Facebook about questions, and maybe we can ask if they want to ask questions, they can put their question out on Tuesday afternoon, and maybe we can address those questions and just talk about ins and outs of the game a little bit. Spend a little bit more time on what's happening, what maybe what happened in the game and our upcoming opponent.
And the link to watch this is going to be the same link that is also for our live streaming that we do. And it'll be on our VeniceIndianFootball.org website, so you can link onto there and get to that. And that'll be an opportunity for, again, we're both places you can go to for those things.
So you can just go to our website, VeniceIndianFootball.org, and we're going to put an icon up there, Vibrant Aspect Media, and you can just click on that link, and it'll take you right to their page. For all the live streaming of the games, for us on Tuesday nights, our live show, and then if you happen to miss a show, you can also
go back and look.
Click on that and look, and we also have links on our website for each individual show as well. So utilize our website. It has some great pictures on there.
The schedule's there. Everything's right there.
It has the freshman rosters, the JV rosters.
You can see all the games.
Right.
Yep.
Has all the schedules for all three levels. Has some good history, where the players are now, has records in there, all-time records and just individual records,
Right.
So it's pretty good job. Coach Wideline takes care of a lot of that stuff on the website, and it's very, very informative, and it's a very nice website.
No doubt. And one real quick thing about the live streaming. Obviously, we try to do as much as we can with that, but sometimes when we go to visit certain places, like we went to Trinity Christian this week, they don't allow the live streaming because that's something to do with their radio broadcast and one of those things. So
Right.
we're always trying, and sometimes you don't know until a few days beforehand. So be patient with that. Click that icon. Hopefully, it's there, and it should be there.
We'll always put information out on
Sure.
Twitter or social media, like, hey, this week's game will be live streamed, or hey, you're gonna have to come to the game. It's not gonna be live streamed.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. All right, Coach, another week, and hopefully we'll get healed up and rested up, and we'll be ready to go in 2 weeks for our next opponent.
All right, sounds
No
good.
doubt. All right, thanks again. We'll see you here next week on the John Peacock Coaches Show.